Good evening and welcome to
Off the Plasterer.
Finally. Oh, Gordon Bennett. Right, can you hear me at the back? I'm going to knock this thing on their head because it's really starting to annoy me now. Am I working again? Ah, dear. Aha, right, there we go. Hello, evening, Tim, Silver, Tim, Chris, flipping hell. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm having some right stuck with this flipping technology business malarkey, but I've kind of got there now. I've got to try and suss out what's the matter with it because everything's ready. I do everything I normally do, and what happens? It just goes nah. It was showing something completely different, and it wasn't coming up. So you click on something else, and the old thing goes off, and then the old thing comes back on again. But I think I've got there now. Thank God. Right, I've got my microphone on, so you can hear me, which is good. Right, let's see if I can relax, Sil. Have a sip of me, not beer. For anyone that's new here this evening, I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer in South London for the last 37 years, and I'm here to answer any of your plastering related questions. Also to have a chat with all the regular guys and girls that come along to Ask the Plasterer every other Monday. We've been doing quite a few interviews over the last few months, but tonight we're going back to a bit more of a traditional Ask the Plasterer, where you can type messages in, you can phone me on the number which will be popping up on the screen in a short while. But before I do, I'd just like to say, Mike Smart, have you made it home, mate? This is Mike because he's running a bit late and he thought no, he ain't going to make it back in time to Ask the Plasterer. So I thought I'd give him a little claim to fame and pop him up on here. So you lot better be careful in future, because you might be coming to a live stream. Oh, sorry about that, Mike. I thought I'd just let people know that you're struggling to get back in time to see this, because you don't want to watch the recording, mate, do you? You want to see it live. Because that picture was quite good, Silver, wasn't it? Oh dear. Yeah, I put the old hashtag womenplasterers because, as you know, we've got quite a few plasterers on the Trowel group, and I've been making sure that they're getting my Ask the Plasterer sweatshirts, so I could be plugging all those lovely lady plasterers and they could be promoting my channel at the same time, and all helping each other. Right, in a short while we're going to be taking a walk to the boozer. Right, is there anything else I wanted to mention before I move on? Still driving home. Right, drive carefully, like. Hi Martin, how you doing, mate? I'm hoping when I go to this next screen that your chat will be coming up on it, because I've had some issues with that as well, but I'm about to find out. But anyway, let's take a little walk to the pub. Are we going to the pub? Yeah, to the pub garden first, I feel, and then we'll move on into the boozer after that.
Plasterers! Here's your fix, can't go wrong.
Oh good, yeah,
Plasterers, you've got the power to hold your set back for an hour. Put more walls on in a day. Extra time the easy way. If your plaster's drying too slow, half time is the way to go. Half time, extra time, every time. Easy Mix Plastering Additives. Control your sets, make more money.
Yeah!
Off the Plasterer!
And here we go, that's better. Yeah, the words are working, which is good. because I've had grief with these as well, trying to get these to come up on the screen. I know they're not essential, but it's nice for people that are watching on the telly at home. They can see they can see all the chat. All the chat. We should be broadcasting live to the old YouTube and to Facebook and to the old Discord site. So, welcome everybody. Yeah, and tonight we're going to have a good old chat. You're going to ask me questions because you're not going to leave me hanging, having to do all the talking for the next hour or so. Because otherwise, it might just turn into the next 20 minutes or so. I'll go and have my dinner instead. But we'll see. Welcome to the old Hawk and Trowel pub garden. We've got a few things to cover tonight. Who did I put in here? Oh yes, we will be having. There's enough people here. Let's have a shufty at this. What's going on, mate? What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. Here is our man of the month, Colby Barr. Yay! Fame at last. I bet he's not watching tonight either. So he's going to have to watch the. He's going to have to watch the rerun. Here you go, Colby. Fame at last, mate. Fame at last. Look at that lovely drop of rendering going on there. Ah, dear. Right, I just want to relax this evening. Under no pressure. You can ask me some questions, guys. I mean, there's probably not a lot that the regulars haven't asked me before. If you are new to Ask the Plasterer, then welcome along. I'm Eric the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer for 37 years in South London. I'm here to answer any of your plastering related questions. If you are a customer or a potential customer, you want to know who's a good plasterer other than Eric the Plasterer. Well, there's lots of them out there, guys. Right across the country, we can help you out. And lady plasterers also, lots of. So we can cover absolutely everything in the world of plastering. Trowel Talk, again a plug. Trowel Talk is the one and only Facebook group that you can join, and it's got to be one of the friendliest out there. So if you're not on it already, then sort that out. What job are you on at the moment? Well, today, my friends, today I was at a day off, which was quite nice. I've got tomorrow. I'm going back to a job I did in Croydon. I did the guys. I did all of his flat. And then I went back and did the kitchen, and then he decided he wants to do the bathroom. So I'm going back there to do the bathroom tomorrow. The plumber's doing a bit of work in there. He's had all the stuff out, and the bath's out, the sinks. I don't know if he's put the new bath back in, but the old toilet and basin's all out. But it is a bit of a mess in there, so I got to get in there and tidy it up a bit. So I'll probably be in there for a couple of days, as opposed to should only really normally be about one. But because there's the whole place is plasterboarded, and that's the same job where I had to refix loads of loose boards using the old spray foam that was spraying through little holes in the plasterboard, which worked fantastically, by the way. Right, what we got here? Tim. Oh no, Martin. I want to render a wall in sand and cement, approximately 15 millimeters thick. How can you work out a square meter rate? Thanks, Eric. Oh mate, now Martin, you're asking me maths, mate. And I'm a very kind of like calculator man. The best way to work it out is you can find actual calculators online, free ones, that you can, you have to Google it, that you can do this on, and you put in the thickness you want, and basically it works it all out for you, because my maths isn't a strong point, because if it was I would have been a chippy, firstly probably, and then anything else that involves maths. Bricky comes to mind, so yeah, Brickies are quite smart in that respect, or the ones that are good anyway. Always like fascinates me how they can like be building in one corner, building in another corner, and when they meet each other, bricks are dead in the right place. It's clever stuff. It's clever stuff. There's definitely maths involved in that. So yeah, Mike, give that a try, mate. Asking me, I'm like a ashtray on a motorbike in that respect when it comes to anything mathematical. Once it's dried out, they seem to appear. Oh, what was that? So what have I missed there? 200 walls, yeah. Hang on, Tim. It's working back up the list, mate. I missed the beginning of your question. Again. Yeah, sorry, Tim. All I can see here is, I mean, once it's dried out, they seem to appear, but I can't see them before. I can't see our question before that. Are you talking about tiger stripes or something? Type something up again, Tim, just so I know what I'm talking about. I don't think my question is coming through, no matter how hard I try. No, it is, mate. I can always find some hollow spots on or rough patches. How long you been in the game, Tim? Like a few years, lots of years, fairly new to it. Let us know, mate, and I can tell you. If you've been doing it for donkeys, then you shouldn't really be getting little hollows unless you're using possibly a flexible trowel too soon, or laying on with something that's not that great. I've not used the Marshalltown squeegee yet, mate. No, it's like a window squeegee that window cleaners use. I've made the text too big on the screen here, haven't I? I'm gonna have to look it over here. Have you used Marshalltown squeegee, like a squeegee that window cleaners use? I've just got one and I think they're good. Can you do a video to review one, please? Well, yeah, Jordan. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Yeah, if I can get older one, they're fairly reasonable price, aren't they? Well, I said that it's Marshalltown. It's not going to be cheap, is it? But yeah, I'd be happy to review one of those, mate. Evening, Eddie. Mark. Are you at home now, Mark? Neeson? Johnny 67. Hello, mate. How you doing? Evening, Eric. What is the going rate for render square meter? I don't do anything by the square meter anymore, mate. I haven't done for years since I was on site. Yeah, meterage. Your best bet to find out about that is to ask Joel Cook from Renovate Plastering. He's up on all that stuff, and I think even Joel tends to do. He works out what he's doing via a meterage thing, but he doesn't. You have to really slog your guts out if you're going to do meterage work. If you're working on a big site where there's lots of it, you can work something out and then work out how fast you can cover and whether or not you're going to make any money doing it. If you're slow on it, then yeah, doing anything by the meter is not great. I mean, I've been a domestic spread for years now, and I haven't worked on a site or worked meterage in absolute donkeys. But Joel can definitely give you a heads up on that one. We'll have a look on his channel, Renovate Plastering, and yeah, I think quite a few of his recent videos cover some of that. And plus the interview I did with him on Ask the Plasterer a while back, I'm pretty sure he'll cover it there. So you'll have to watch that, mate. Oh, Jordan, got it on Amazon for about 27 quid. No, I'll probably give it a go, mate, because at the minute my speed skims have got so much muck on them that rather than spend all day cleaning them off, I'll probably get myself. That's going to be my excuse anyway. That I need to trial this thing. So I'll get the squeegee. Yeah, I will get one, Jordan, and I'll give it a try, mate. Tim, appears to be once the finishing plaster is dried, multi-finish. Been doing it on and off, but more seriously recently. Okay. Appears to be once the finished plaster is dried. Not finished. Yeah, the old any kind of little hollows or stuff. It's really difficult. I mean, the only way, I don't know if you or someone else asked me that before, the only way you can really tell where someone's going wrong is to literally be able to watch them on video. I'm happy for you, mate, to just use your phone. The next bit of skimming you're doing, try and like set up your camera phone so you can like film some of it, and you can probably email it to me or get it to me somehow, or WhatsApp it or whatever's easy, and I'll be able to have a look at it for you, mate, and maybe give you more of an idea, because it's so many reasons why you can get little dips. And I mean, little rough patches on plaster can happen to the best of us. Depends how much area you're trying to cover, what your lighting's like in the place. One wall can look absolutely fantastic when you've got light coming from one direction, and then you turn that one off and put a different light on, and suddenly you can see things that you couldn't see before. And you do need to make sure you are changing the kind of light that you've got when you're doing some work. Always, if you've got a big floodlight up on a job, always turn that off at different stages and put just the overhead light on, like the normal bulb, or turn them off and just have daylight coming in to look at what you're doing. And that's the only real way you'll tell if you've got the wall as it should be. Also, I did a little video, you get little torches that you can literally shine up the wall across them while you're doing it, or just after you've doing it, when you're in that like dry, well, say wet to drying up trowel stage, and you'll be able to see if there's any discrepancies there, and that's when you've got to get them out. If the worst comes to the worst, once they're dry, as you probably know, you can sand most kind of issues out. If you've got hollows, it shouldn't be that big that you'd be able to put filler in them, but again, might be easier to sand off, but without actually seeing some of the stuff, other pictures or video, it's quite difficult to tell. Home ages ago. Oh, okay then, mate, that's good. That's good. Trying to think of anything else on there. Right, no worries, Tim, no worries. Like Mark was home ages ago, that's good to know, Mark. Have you got your feet up and got a beer, mate? Got a beer? Get indoors and relax. That's Monday over. Can't believe Mike Smart managed to get himself that sort of stuck that he was working late on a Monday. But I suppose it's better than working late on Friday. Just one more question. Where do you get the red stickers from that goes over the screw holes? Oh, the old plaster reveal spots. The only place I managed to get them was literally online to the bloke directly. If I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what the website is called now, but I've got it somewhere either on my site or on my Discord server or on the channel. One of the other guys remember, and yeah, hopefully type it up in a minute and tell us. But yeah, I don't think they're stocked by a lot of people. I think literally they're just sent out by the guy that makes them. It's really difficult to tell how big a company is when they're not in lots of different suppliers. But yeah, basically you have to order them from their site. Last debate. Oh, Danny, yeah. To be honest, that last interview inspired me. What, the one about spray plastering with? Oh man, I'm just so losing the plot. With Rich Welfare, yes, of course, it's with Rich Welfare. Plaster spot indicators. Thanks, Mark. That's it. Plaster spot indicators. I'm pretty sure it's something like plaster spot indicators. Actually, if you Google them, their website will come up. You need to contact them via their website, and they will send you out as many as you want. I think obviously if you buy more of them, they're cheaper than buying just one packet, but they are flipping good. absolutely. Yeah, when it comes to like not having to go around screws, they're an absolute godsend. Hey Tara, evening. You're oh, that coffee? You meant to be having a beer or a pub type accoutrement. Why'd you saying that? I'm only on the lemonade still. What have I got? Tim. Just little things I forget when I haven't done any for a couple of years. Then I feel down when someone bigger. Yeah, Chris, does anyone else do Venetian plastering? I think there's quite a few guys out there, other than yourself. I'm not sure how often you do it, Chris. Whether you do that as well as mostly like straightforward spreading, or whether you are doing a lot of that. Not doing just that, are you? Eddie, going to London next week. Eric, this is a boy for afternoon tea. Ooh, that's nice, mate. Wedding anniversary. Yeah, I have been. I've been in it donkeys years ago, and that was one of those afternoon tea things. Isn't it about 50 quid a head, is it, or is it about 200 quid a head? I can't remember. But my missus has been back like years ago, a few times for tea at the Savoy or tea at the Ritz or whatever it is. It's nice, very posh. Yeah, nothing wrong with a lovely cup of tea, Tara. Nothing wrong with a lovely cup of tea. What? Oh, hang on. You do both, Chris. Okay, cool, mate. Cool. Eddie Gilks, £90. Yeah, I suppose that's not too bad. You want to go shopping for a wedding anniversary, mate? I'm assuming that's you treating the wife and not the other way around. Michael, bead fix for the spits. What's that, Michael? What are you talking about? Yeah, over here regarding the words, guys and girls, I made them a bit bigger than they normally are, so that the questions aren't coming up. They're coming up in the normal place on the YouTube and I think on Facebook, but the on my screen there, because I made them so big, they're kind of lagging behind. Either that or it's just me lagging behind, but that's nothing new. Yeah, Mike Smart, what's that bead fix for splits? What are you talking about, mate? There's something you said earlier that I've missed. How would you use a bead fix for split? Are you talking about splitting areas of work? If you are, mate, tell us. Well, let us know. No. Right, guys, for a bit of a change of scenery, we're going to go into the pub, I think. Here we go. Bear with. Hey. That's better. Yeah, for anyone that's not been here before, I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer. I've been a plasterer in South London for 37 years, and there's not that much I don't know about plastering, but I'm not very good at maths, as most guys already know. Or if they didn't, they do now, which is why I'm a spread. But it's a fantastic job. It's very artistic. It's an art form, and now there are a lot of women. Well, there's been a lot of women doing spreading already. Steph here. Sorry, that's Steph there. Steph, the pink plasterer. She's been plastering. She's a time served spread. So right, look, she don't know about plastering. Mel, some of the other girls are a bit newer. What have I got like written down here? Just some of the ones on Trowel Talk as well. Lady spreads there. We got Steph Lees, Lottie Durrant, Melanie Bell. That's Melanie there on the old thing. Tara, evening Tara again. Lisa Gilhooly, Nadia Swift. Nadia I think's been at it about 8 years, and Jessica Ball, she's been at it about 13 years. And Naima Ben Musa, that's Lady in Red. And if you don't know who she is, then you need to look her up. Right. Yeah. So hashtag women plasterers. Oh. Oh, it's okay. There was a picture up there that's disappeared, but I think it's still all with me. Right. There's just a couple of awards that this is new that I want to hand out, and the first one, I mean, these will vary, not always going to be the same, but the first one goes to PVA Bucket of the Month. Oh dear. Now I think this is Mike Smart's PVA bucket. I can't remember now, so he's on a roll. And if you look closely, because this is very clever, it's the old food waste bin. It's got a lid and everything. I mean, I've got a PVA bucket. I never would have thought of using this, and of course with the old lid, stops you getting that skin on the top or it drying out. So he gets the PVA bucket of the month. Well done, mate. But that's not all. That's not all. We also have Van of the Month. Who has got Van of the Month, I hear you ask. Or not, as the case may be. But I tell you, who's got Van of the Month. Silver has got Van of the Month. Look at that. He's got to be the tidiest geezer. I know. When it comes to vans, if you're talking organised, you're talking silver. On this one. Are you still with us, mate? If he's not, he'll have a shot later. He had a very busy week that particular week, when and he had to cram a fair bit of gear into his motor. But he has got H Silver has got the award for Van of the Month on that one. Oh dear. Yeah, guys. By the way, it's obviously at the top of the screen here. If you are watching on the telly box, because you will need a phone to do it, and if you're watching this on your phone, you won't be able to call me at the same time with you. But you can call into the studio on 07516 214 983, and you can have a chat with me live and give the other people a rest from listening to my voice. And yeah, but it's there if you want it. Be brave, call in if you're watching this on the telly. If you've got anything you want to ask about plastering or about plasterers from a customer's perspective, whether you're a time-served spread, whether you are a newbie, DIY, absolutely doesn't matter. This is the place to be for you. And this is a channel to come to. And this is what Ask the Plasterer is for. It's for you to be able to whip on YouTube and go, aha, I shall ask the plasterer. Hey. Or, oh, have I got it here? Or,
Ask the plasterer.
Yeah, ask the plasterer. Oh dear. Right, where are we? Yes, Silver. It's very well packed, mate. Mind you, that would it's only because you had all that insulation in there, mate, wasn't it? At the end of the day. Michael, your food waste bucket, mate, is absolutely brilliant. And obviously, I've got my my old mop bucket that I use. But that wouldn't run any competitions. But that was a stroke of genius, mate. When you first posted it up, I wasn't quite sure what it was, but now it's fairly obvious to see, and a very smart idea. Oh, excuse me. So my lemonade's a little bit overly fizzy. And just one more award that I want to give this evening. This is for Plasterer, Renderer of the Month. Okay. Renderer of the Month, yes. Mark Neeson with his lovely Trowel Talk hat on there, and even the words around the right way on my telly box anyway. Congratulations, Mark. That's fantastic, mate. There are, and Mark's a lot of his work is now going up on YouTube since it was suggested a while back. I haven't got the link on here tonight, but we'll sort that out for next time so you can watch him and the boys in action. Hang on, mate. You should have some applause for this, shouldn't you? Hey, Plaster of the Month! Plaster of the Month, yeah! Oh dear. There you go, mate. Plaster, mate. Any good deed of the month should go to you, Eric, for sending me that mix. Oh, I was just going to ask you about that, mate. Ain't got it fixed yet. I thought you'd given it to the guy already, and he was just taking his time refurbing it. But at least it got there in the end, mate. Oh, I mean, Danny at Plaster8 organised picking up my old mixer because it was no use to me because I thought it was knackered and I bought a brand new one, and then realised that the old one was still okay. So Danny's had that, but we thought, oh, straightforward. I'll wrap it up my end. He'll sort out a courier from his end, and they'll come and pick it up. And the next day, I boxed it all up lovely, stuck it outside the door, just behind the bin, but you couldn't miss it. It wasn't a little box. And when I got home that evening, the box was still there, and there was a note shoved through my door, and he couldn't find the box. And then it took about 2 weeks, eventually, to get picked up and to end up at Danny's house. And now he's refurbing it. Pleasure, Mark. Pleasure, mate. It's well deserved because your plastering and your rendering, mate, is pretty pucker. Let's be honest. I've always been very, very, very impressed by it. And I'm not just saying that because you always come past the plasterer, mate. I ain't got around to it yet, mate. Been flat out lately. Well, you've got another whisk, Danny, haven't you? But if you did just buy a whisk, like a new paddle for it, like a proper nice big one, and whack a plug on it, mate, it would probably you might want to put a little bit of WD-40 through the vents, but it was working. I tested it before I sent it, so well, that'd be lovely to get it refurbed. If you did need to use it at any point, or you wanted to give it a trial run, then you could give it a go. I don't know what your mate have you got a rough idea what kind of prices he charges for renovating like old tools, or for refurbing them or getting them going? Is he reasonable? There's quite a lot of things. I used to have proper collated screw gun, so you just bzz, electric, and the next screw pops in place, and you can put hundreds of screws in no time whatsoever. But eventually it kind of seized up, and a sensible guy well, probably would have maintained it, but an even more sensible guy would have sent it and had it fixed. But I was kind of like, oh, that's had it now. And since then I went back to an impact driver, which is a bit slower, but I do save on screws because it is so easy to get trigger happy when you've got a collated automatic screwdriver that just pumps them in one after the other, and yeah, and you can really overdo it. The screws ain't cheap. Yeah, I thought it wasn't going to come, but we got there in the end, mate. Yeah, we did with that whisk. I thought it was never going to turn up at your place, mate. I thought you'd seen the back of that. I thought it's either just got lost or someone's had it away. But you got to in the end, mate. And yeah, it would have been a bit far for you to come and pick it up from my gaff. It would have been quicker. Yeah, you're like Bristol way, Danny, ain't you? I think, as far as I can remember. Ah, dear. Right. Oh, so I can have a drink. Take the open arse off. What's it? To renovate stuff, he's talking when he reckons about £25-30 for a new plug. I may send it to Rafina for a service too, and FO got a nice big paddle for it. Yeah, it only needs a 3-pin plug on it, mate. It's not a 110. It is a 250 volt, just in case. Don't put a 110 plug on it and plug it in the transformer, because it'll go around so slowly. It'll be no good to anybody. Oh dear. But, yeah, three pin plug and a nice big paddle, and yeah, I mean you can send it off to them, mate, but might be even more months getting it to them and then for them to fix it and then getting it back again. Still, make a nice kind of Christmas present to yourself, won't it? Good old Bristol. Ooh-ah. Can they say ooh-ah in Bristol? Is that where all the farmers come from then? Oh. Right, for anyone that's just joined us, I'm Eric the Plasterer. Been a plasterer in South London for the last 37 years. Here to answer any of your plastering related questions, whether you are a newbie, DIYer, time served tradesman, customer. I'm very surprised I don't get more customers either like typing in or ringing in and saying, well, how much did this cost? How much did that cost? How much are you? Whereabouts are you? Where are all the other guys and girls? But no, at the moment it seems to be like mostly the trades guys coming on, which is fine. Yeah, I really thought we might get the odd, over the time we've been doing it. I really thought we might get some customers, well, potential customers coming on and asking questions, because when I meet actual customers when I'm out and looking at jobs, they want to ask me all sorts of stuff, and I'm thinking, haven't you seen Ask the Plasterer? Get on there. If I can't answer your question, someone will. What's that? In that case, I may just get my dad to do it, and he's good at that sort of stuff. Yeah, and that's that. Yeah, mate, country. You are proper. Yeah, Danny, just get your old man to do it, mate. At the end of the day, it's not. Yeah, it only needs a bit of a clean up. That's all. And get that switch moving again. But as long as if anybody takes it apart, as long as they know what they're doing. Because when you take those, because I think I've taken one, the first one I ever had, when that went to the pictures, I unscrewed it, and of course, like anything like that, as you take it apart, all the switches and that just drop out and hang there on wires, and unless you know where to put them back, you can become a bit unstuck because they never seem to go back where you thought that they should go back. Austin, hello mate. Happy spreading, yay! Have you been working today, Austin? Has it been a busy day, mate? You been cracking at it? You just got in? You've not been sprinting today? You had a day off like me? Chilling the beans? Well, not really chilling the beans. Doing other stuff. Ah. Yeah, my old eyes are getting worse. Must find me proper glasses. These pound shop ones. I just don't cut the mustard. Let's look at this. Johnny, how about up on you, Eric? Have you got plenty on? It was a little while back. I had a fair bit of work, and I thought, well, that's lovely. And you crack on with it like you do, and it's only after a while as it starts to get nearer the end, you think, oh, hello. The old phone's not gone for a while, but. Fortunately, as is usually the case, just as it started to get to that point, maybe, oh, the phone's been a bit quiet, off it goes again, and you get another little line of jobs come in. So yeah, I'm working over Croydon this week, and then I'm going over to Petcham, Bookham. That's like Leatherhead Way, doing some work for an old friend and customer over there, and. Also, I just finished a big job in Earlsfield, and I'm pleased to say the customer was very happy with my work, and very pleased to recommend me. And only yesterday, I think I got another email because I get put on the Earlsfield Facebook local neighbourhood groups, and because I've been recommended, and I've got another job to look at. A guy wants a basement doing. I don't know if it needs tanking out or not, but until I go and look at it. Tara, yeah, sorry. Just out of curiosity, how much would you have charged to do that bathroom I showed you? The undercoat, ceiling, and 2 walls. You had Artex on the ceiling, Tara, didn't you? It's funny. I was looking at I was going up through some pictures earlier on, and it kind of went past. From memory, looking at it, I would think at least we did the ceiling and all the walls in there, was that? And whereabouts are you, Tara, again? I can't remember whereabouts in the country you are. Wolverhampton, something like that. Well, in London, I would charge at least 400 quid for that, and probably more. But I will actually, I will have a quick look at your picture again later on, and see whether that is kind of accurate for if I was doing it and doing it in London. But saying that, some of the prices even outside of London is are high, you know, or higher than I thought that they might be. I hope all you got to know, all you got to be at the end of the day when you're pricing for a job is if you're happy with what you're getting for the work you've had to put in. And obviously, initially, when you do something, when you're early on in the trade, you're happy to get a job, get it done, it turn out quite nice, and get paid for it, which of course is the idea. But yeah, I'll have another look over the pitch later on, and I'll send you a message regarding what I would charge for it when I've looked at it in a bit more detail again. Jamie, hey Eric, my Achilles heel at the moment seems to be blending. Is that meant to say blending, mate? My Achilles heel at the moment seems to be blending. Never mind. Yeah, just whatever. I feather out with a sponge and it feels good, but decorator paints it not looking so good under angled light. What method do you use? When I feather any, if I don't have to feather a wall, if I'm doing quite a large area of a wall, I tend to talk the customer into skimming over the whole wall, because a little bit of extra plaster, it's not going to be any quicker to do a patch than it is to do a whole wall. If you're in that situation where you can do that, and you haven't got any patching or joints to worry about. If you are going to have to patch or joint, what I tend to use when I'm finishing off my patching is a flexible trowel where the edges meet. Very recently, if you go on to Trowel Talk, Stuart Roberts, he's apart from the Facebook group, his YouTube channel, he's I think it was the latest video, it might have been from a few weeks ago, was about getting that really nice like blending the patches together, or from going from your new plaster onto your old. I literally only watched it today, so take a look at that. That's on Stuart Roberts' Trowel Talk YouTube channel, and yeah, it's only a couple of videos back, I think. So yeah, get on there and have a look at that, mate, and then you'll see a video of it. I don't think I've done any videos of it, but Stuart's will be the most recent one, and very good in my opinion. No worries, Jamie. No worries. Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. Oh dear. It's nice to be slightly relaxed again after, as I say, as a lot of you that were here early on, my technology for streaming normally works fine, but just the last couple of weeks I've been having issues with it, and suddenly it's just it's broadcasting somewhere, but it ain't broadcasting to my channel, which is useless when everyone's on my channel waiting for it to start, and I'm waffling away in outer space somewhere. Danny, Plasterer. To Jamie. My advice to you, Jamie, would be to get the blend started. And what's that got to do with his Achilles heel? I couldn't touch that bit. As early as possible and try to keep the edge. That's Jamie. Yeah. Also, what Danny said from Plasterer as well. He did make a cracking job of that patch, Mark, didn't he? I was watching him. I hadn't seen that. I hadn't seen that one. I say literally until today, and I thought, oh, I'll watch that. Because I mean, nobody likes really patching if you don't have to, and given the chance, I'd rather go with the whole thing. But that's not always a possibility, or it's just going to be even more work that you haven't priced for, or the customer doesn't really want doing, unless you can convince them otherwise. Achilles heel is my weakness in. Oh, your Achilles heel, as in like my weakness, right? Okay, Jamie. Sorry, mate. I'm with you now. I thought because quite a few guys ring up and they go, "Oh, I've got a tennis elbow," or carpal tunnel, or whatever. I was thinking, oh, he's got trouble with his Achilles heel. But I understand what you mean now, mate. Sorry. But I am rather old. And losing the plot as time goes by. Right. No problem, mate. Happy to help. But as Eric said, it don't any longer. Don't take any longer to do a whole wall. No, no, because it's the same setting time on the plaster. Teeny bit more plaster, maybe. I mean, sometimes it's easy because it might be like in an alcove, and then you want that only the bottom needs doing because they've had waterproofing done, like a metre up or whatever. But even then, if that is being done, I'd try. If someone's had their whole room tanked out, for want of a better word, and had waterproofing render done, metre or so up. I'd probably talk them into just skimming right up to the ceiling and doing the whole room. By the time you've gone round a room halfway up and messed about with that, you might as well be backing on a whole wall and they've got a lovely new room at the end of it. Obviously there's a discussion you have to have with a customer in those situations, but that's what I would do generally, rather than patch something up. But if I have to, then I use the method that Stuart uses and that Danny from Rendervate as no Plastervate. Sorry, Joel. Joel Cook. Joel Cook is Rendervate. Danny is Plastervate. I don't know where he got the idea from for that name. I do. Yeah, he did. Do you listen to the wireless whilst working, mate? I listen to it far too much. I listen to LBC. Listen, Nick Ferrari drives me mad in the morning. For anyone that don't drive me mad. I listen to him. Then everybody's favourite that does listen to LBC, James O'Brien. I love him. People hate him. My missus hates him. But yeah, that's not a discussion I'd get into. But yeah, I listen to it all flipping day, and by the end of the day, I've had enough. Sometimes I will. If a new Ask the Plasterer has gone out, because I put it out as a podcast a day or so afterwards, I might whack that on just to see how it sounds when you're listening to it, because obviously when I'm jabbering away, I'm not kind of listening to it in that kind of respect. Obviously the interview ones are better for me to listen back to than just me talking to myself. The old customers must think, oh, he loves himself, then he's in there plastering away, hopefully filming for a video or something, and he's playing a podcast of himself talking about plastering. Dear, don't get any better than that, does it? Oh dear. I was inspired by Joel Cook with that name, mate. Yeah, of course you were, mate. Of course you were. It was it's a smart name. Smart name at the end of the day. And if you have just joined us, I'm Eric the Plasterer. This is Ask the Plasterer from the Old Trowel Boozer, where we sit down by the fire and have a lovely little chat about plastering related stuff. Generally, I might be doing an Ask the Plasterer where we talk about different stuff, but generally it'll be a bit silly to have a channel called and a show called Ask the Plasterer and then talk about something completely different. Especially of which I probably have no knowledge. Yeah, I'm hoping at some point to get an interview with hopefully a good Venetian plasterer, because we've covered quite a lot of traditional plastering. We've covered stuff with our old mate Kirk over in California, and spray plastering with Rich Welfare. So I'm thinking, yep, I think we need to do an interview on the old Venetian plastering. I watched some of it. I'm keen to give it a little go. Some of the videos I've looked at, like from like some professional company that's put a video up there, they it's kind of like put the first coat on and then leave for 10 hours. My patience ain't that great. And then the next coat that they put on, and then it was kind of, yeah, best leave it for another 10 hours. I'm thinking, yeah, can you get more instant Venetian plaster as opposed to, I don't suppose you can. Or it wouldn't be Venetian plastering, would it? It'd probably be something else. But yeah, if anyone can enlighten me on that one, that would be good. But I won't hold my breath, because I'm pretty sure it just does take you have to let the stuff dry before you start putting different colours or coats on top. I don't know how I'd make money at it, even if I was any good at it. Not sure what kind of price. If anyone knows the kind of prices as well, I'm clueless when it comes to prices for Venetian plastering. But I would love to get a rough idea from anyone that. If you're still there, Chris, if you've got an idea, mate, it'd be good to know. Just out of curiosity for me and everyone else. So thanks for the info on price. I appreciate it. More expensive where you are. Yeah, it would be Tara a bit more, expensive in London, but yeah, they're saying because we've got Anthony Parry in Wales. He, I think he charges a fair whack for Wales as well. Mind you, again, probably not the same as up the big smoke, up London. Danny, I'll do one of the resin render. I'll do one on the resin render once I've done a job. They love the idea, but there's no way he wants to pay the money. Oh, well, yeah, because you're doing the resin stuff, Danny, aren't you? And yeah, you'd have to give us a bit more of an idea. Is that resin stuff you're doing? Is that Venetian? Because it is a resin, isn't it? Venetian plaster. 120, 180 a square metre Venetian, but don't know for sure as I don't do it. Yeah, well, yeah, I've no idea. It's I suppose if you're doing a large area, I mean, in a lot of places though, you might just be doing one with Venetian plastering, one feature wall, and of a certain meterage, and it'd be nice to be able to work out, well, when you're any good at it, how much it would cost to do a feature wall or a wall that looks like it's marble when it's not marble, but obviously cheaper than marble. Or having a whole wall clad with marble. I'm pretty sure it would be more expensive than the Venetian plastering, but I'm pretty sure that's what the whole idea. Although you can get some beautiful colours with Venetian plastering, and the fact that you can do that kind of artificial marble kind of look, or granite and all sorts of stuff, is pretty amazing. But it's finding the time to experiment with something like that. And my garage, where I was trying to, I was doing some of my early plastering school videos from back a couple of years ago. There's now no room in there to swing a cat once again, because the amount of stuff that gets chucked up there by me and the missus, because I don't want it taking up room in the house. And you can't leave it in the garden, or you can, but yeah, it ends up in a bit of a sorry state. Ah dear. Yeah, so if any of you are watching on the telly box and you don't have any way of typing up a question, and you might be a customer or another time served spread or a DIYer or just a newbie into the trade, you can call into the pub on this number 07516 214 983 and talk to me live while this feed goes out. If you're watching the video afterwards, then I'm really sorry. You've just tried calling and the phone is switched off. But if we are live, the phone will be on. At least I think it's on. I should always double check these things, shouldn't I? Yep, the phone is on, so you can call in and yeah, have a few minutes of 5 minutes of fame, if you can call it fame. Oh dear. Right, this is the resin, mate. Is it? No, it's like coloured quartz stone mixed with epoxy resin. I think the resin mosaic render takes ages to go off. You could bang a whole room on without breaking a sweat, literally. Oh, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, I suppose if you are, that's the good side of doing either that resin work that you're doing or the Venetian plastering is, I suppose, I'm assuming, if you're any good at it, that you could, if the whole room is to be done, then obviously you've got time to put all those walls on and then you're kind of done for the day anyway, so you've got your 10 hours for your next day to go in and then put your second lot of coloured stuff, coloured Venetian plaster on top of that. But again, I looked at some of it and it is quite expensive to buy as well, so I suppose you calculate all that within your price depending on what customer wants doing. Ah dear. Anyone bought any new tools lately? Different spats or different trowels, or are we all just cracking on? I'm still cracking on with my my Marshalltown, my Ultraflex, my Ox Ultraflex, and me lovely old speed skims. Someone mentioned in the week about tiger stripes again, and generally tiger stripes don't show through paintwork when the plaster's been painted, and you've got less chance of getting them if you're using a metal blade spatula or speed skim. You shouldn't really be using that until the wall is, you're putting water on it, but very dry, dry enough that if you were trying to spray the wall with any water and use a plastic speed skim blade, it would drag or possibly rip if you weren't careful, or damage the surface. That's when it's hard enough to wet it and use a metal bladed speed skim. If you use a metal blade speed skim before that, you will get issues, and possibly worse, tiger striping. Use it any sooner than that, like on wet coats of plaster, you'll get blistering and cause all the water to the surface. And yeah, metal bladed spats of any sort should only really be used at the end of a job, as opposed to when the plaster's really wet. Martin. Oh, sorry, Danny. To be honest, though, mate, it's like most things in the trade. It's all in the preparation. It is. The flatter, I have learned over the years, the flatter you can get a base of some description, so much easier just to skim and get a beautiful finish. If it's slightly out, which it is in most houses, old houses that you're just skimming over the walls, it's yeah. It's never spot on perfect. Martin, I've got the 240 volt DeWalt mixer, love it. Oh yeah, plug-in, yeah. They are. The DeWalt is a fantastic mixer, plug-in or the old battery, but the old battery ones is like silly money, like £600 or £700, and as I say, you only really need a battery operated one on a site. because you can plug in one with a cable if you're doing domestic jobs anywhere, and on sites it does save carrying around a transformer as well. But I wouldn't want to leave. I wouldn't want to go anywhere without holding it under my arm in case it walked away when I wasn't looking on a building site of any sort. But yeah, no, it's a lovely mixer. I've used for donkey's years refiner or refiner, however you prefer pronouncing it, mega mixer, and they just like go on forever. I probably could have got away with 2 in the last 30 odd years, but I'm on my 3rd one now, but Danny's got my 2nd one. So they just keep going. They're absolutely amazing bits of kit, and obviously DeWalt. It's a name you can't fault really at the end of the day. Jamie, I keep hesitating on buying a battery mixer. I don't do big mixes. Tempted to get the Ruby Cone thing mixer. You can get a battery one if it's what you got to work out. Jamie, is if it's worth getting a battery mixer at the end of the day. I know it's nice not to have a cable a little bit in your way or have to worry about plugging it in, but 9 times out of 10, if you're doing domestics anyway, you're going to have a socket nearby, and it's just something you don't think about if you're using a corded mixer all the time. Obviously, if you start using all the tools that are battery operated, and let's face it, a lot of other stuff nowadays is, especially if you're into carpentry and all that kind of gear, on nail guns and what have you, and yeah, unless you are on a site and it's awkward to have to carry around a transformer and a 110 mixer, I don't see a lot of point in getting a. I mean, if you really want a battery operated one, mate, get one. But if you get a cheaper battery operated one, their torque won't be so good. Probably won't last for so long. I mean, the DeWalt battery, like my corded mega mixer, you can knock up sand and cement with it in the old big bucket, which is on a lot of my jobs. That's what I do. I don't bother dragging my cement mixer to a job. I just knock it up on. I do small enough rendering jobs when I do rendering jobs, which is rare for me now. I just mix them up in my big tough tub. Put the water in first, then the cement and lime if I'm using it, or retarder or waterproofer, and then add my sand last. But yeah, churns it up a treat. But again, not so much talk if you're getting a cheaper battery operated one. Been around the world. Evening. Like it. Are you a spread been around the world? Are you time served? Are you a newbie? Are you a customer? Been on before, haven't you, I think? Aaron, would you recommend XRP? You top me head, Darren. I don't know what XRP is. Not that I can think of. If it's an additive, I definitely don't use it. Otherwise, I'd know what it was called. Good lad, been around the world. I'll just call you Bean for short then. It don't take so long. Darren, yeah, what is XRP, Darren? With my ignorance. I think if I've been plastering this long, I should know. Lovely, cheers, cheers, Bean. Tara, I found that Ragni corner trowel really good. The one with the big wings. Yeah, the initially, like when I started using an internal corner trowel, Tara, I got this going back further than I care to remember. The little really hard, I think it was a Marshalltown one, short and rigid, and it dug terrible grooves either side. I mean, the fact I probably wasn't very good at plastering didn't help, but dug really bad grooves into the two joining walls. And it's only when later on I got a Marshalltown one, say with the large kind of wings on the side that are flexible, was a lot better. And then my mate Eddie said, I think it was the Ragney one. It's got those wings, but it's more rounded, so you don't get the points digging in, or possibly digging in. So yes, it's a brilliant internal trowel, absolutely. And yeah, and that's the one I'm using now. Yeah, so cheers Eddie for that recommendation ages ago when I did that video about me 1200mm speed skim that I just bought. It's on there. For any of you guys or girls that haven't been or are not on my on the Discord forum, which is my plastering forum, it's nothing like Trowel Talk. It's not a Facebook group. If you go into most of my videos, there should be a link on there which says Discord forum link, and if you click on that, you'll get sent an invite, and you just follow the instructions on there, and you can chat with me and an awful lot of the other guys and Tara as well, on there, which is great. You haven't got to wait for us the plasterers to come around, or leave comments on the videos. It's the same one, Tara, yeah? Remember you mentioned it, Eddie, in your video. Yeah. Nice one. Yeah, it's a lovely bit of a kit. I won't go back to the Marshalltown one now, although it's got the wings either side, because they're just too sharp on the corners. You can kind of trowel them off, but why do that when you can buy a rounded Ragney one? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. How's the time going? Oh, it's cool, 20 past 8 nearly. Is that because I started late because everything was going wrong at the beginning? I just managed to talk enough to help the time go by. I do like doing Ask the Plasterer, guys. It's a pleasure. It's nice to be able to chat up with everybody and just chill your beans on a Monday night. When I first started doing it on a Monday, I kind of think, does anyone really want to get in on a Monday after work and talk about work? But thankfully they do. So cheers for that. Oh dear. Silver. So yeah, once more for anyone that might have missed it, I just want to say our plasterer of the month, our renderer of the month, Mark Neeson, one of Ireland's finest. Mac also, Mac Plastering Joe from Northern Ireland. He's a great spread. And there's an interview, if you don't know, there's an interview with me and Joe Mac of Mac Plastering on the old channel, so that is well worth a watch, as is all the interviews that we do. Oh, Alex Morley, Alex I know has been, he must have finished it by now, has been doing a massive, or was doing a massive plastering job. I think it was a school now, I can't remember, with Louis, and it went really quiet. I was getting a bit worried about it. But they did put a video up showing you what they've been up to, and I don't know how they put that much gear on without. Well, I think they have half killed themselves doing it, and there should be quite a few videos coming up from Alex about that, and Alex's interview is also on here. So if you haven't watched that, make sure that you do. Go on, Mark, tell me. He is good. I'm gonna be watching every time a little video goes up now. Mark's rendering, and that last one we've got a bit of the old time lapse going on. Very good indeed. Mark, we use the Ragney midi angle trowel on the sand cement. Really bit of kit. Is that the sort of is that the shorter one? Is that called a midi? The only two like internal or external trowels I've ever used have been short and rigid, square, and ones with the big sides on that are flexible. But yeah, I suppose when you're doing render, you're probably better off with a smaller, or which I assume is the MIDI one. Yeah, because you've got a harder. Yeah, I can absolutely see how that works better when you're doing the render. And especially if you're doing an internal render that you're going to skim, because they use that on it. But I don't do enough rendering anymore, mate. Thankfully, I don't mind doing internal stuff. Or people have got a damp issue when they want a waterproof render internally, because I know I'm not going to get rained off by the weather. What's that? I've reached 100 messages today with Restream Chat. Oh, thank you, Restream Chat. No, thank you guys and girls for all your messages coming in. It's good. Obviously, there won't be as many messages when we've had the interviews, because we're too busy like chatting in the interview, and it is so hard. That's the only trouble with doing the interviews. It's difficult to answer even the interviewee unless we're specifically going to do something where we're going to answer questions and not talk about how they got into plastering or the YouTube channels or anything else. But yeah, we might do something along those lines. Also, I'm hoping at some point that here we go again. Mental block. Pete Carter, my old beadmaster, inventor, amongst other things. That he will come on at some point. I know he's been very busy of late, and talk to us about being a plasterer and having the mind of an inventor. So, I mean, you know, I've had the odd kind of like, but it'd be not good if I could have an idea how to invent something, but absolutely useless, as are 90% of people at least when it comes to making stuff. And it'd be nice to find out what inspires him and why these thoughts come into his head, and how and when he started realising he could make like plastering tools or come up with innovative ideas that might make him a millionaire one day if he's not already. Dear. What have you sent Danny a pic of, Mark? I mean, interesting. Oh, of the trowel, internal trowel. For time 8:23. I will go on till past whatever the weather. Before I have my dinner. I'm not that hungry yet as it goes. I've been trying to get back to the gym on a 3 times a week basis, but the first couple of weeks are the hardest. Making yourself go when you get in from a day spreading and think, oh yeah, let's go to the gym. I mean, I make myself go because once I've done the gym part of it, I do like to have a bit of a swim, the old cold shower, a bit of a Wim Hof thing, and a nice hot sauna for I do about half an hour, which is something you have to work up to, but it's flipping good for you, for those of you that don't know. And I know I promised a while back to do a bit of a revival on my fitness channel and show you the kind of diet that I use when I'm on the ball. Or the kind of diet you have to have if you want to show off a six-pack, because most guys that you can go to the gym and exercise and you will have a six-pack, you just can't see it because it's hidden. But it's not easy. And then it's a case of do I stuff my face and not have my six-pack, or depends how much of a poser you are, whether it's the summer or the winter. In the winter, why bother? Oh dear. Right. How are we doing? Oh, and one more time, please, for Silver's Van. Thank you. Van of the month. And Mark's PVA bucket of the month. So just so you know, guys, if most of these pictures I have pulled off of the Discord forum, so see what you're missing out on. So yeah, be careful what you put on there because it might be coming to a live stream near you very soon. Right, what is? I'm going to find out shortly. No worries. I'm going to find out what the beginning of my poor old live stream looks like when the old video goes out, which it will do straight after this. I think it's about a 10-minute countdown, the way things were going, but we shall see. We shall see. And in a day or so, this will go out as a podcast as well, available wherever you get your podcasts, which apparently is also on Audible now. I thought you only had to, you can only pay for stuff, or perhaps you still have to pay to be on Audible, don't you? But you can get me on there as well as Spotify and all the other ones. Right, guys and girls, I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to thank you for coming along this evening to Ask the Plasterer. We didn't get no calls this evening. It's a pity. It's nice just to get one now and again, which we did used to have, but it's getting back in the swing of having a proper Ask the Plasterer when we're not doing the interviews. I don't have the phone on when we're doing the interviews because obviously I couldn't interview someone and answer the phone because I'm just not that good at multitasking. But so cheers, guys. Enjoy dinner if you haven't had it already. It's probably just me that hasn't had it already. And girls, Tara, thanks for coming along this evening as well. I will probably chat to you about that bathroom pick at some point on Discord. Yeah, if you're not on the Discord server, guys, there is a link in my video so that you can sort yourself out on that. Click on it, get an invite, and come and join us on there. There's only about 60 of us on there, so it's not overcrowded when it comes to wanting to chat to anybody or put up pictures or get an answer to a question, because I'm so nosy every time the thing bleeps. If I'm not in the middle of spreading something, I'll be looking at it and answering any questions if I can. And the same with all the other guys who are absolutely brilliant at what they do. Right, cheers my dears. As usual, I shall search for the old off button, and I look forward to seeing you either on the Discord server, back on here soon. I will keep you updated on whether the next one is the interview and what it's about and who's going to be on there, and yeah, and just and on Trowel Talk, I'll see you on there as well. Right, here we go. This is Eric the Plasterer signing out. See you soon, guys and girls. Thanks for coming. Bye.